Captain Ibrahim Traore is safe. The assertion that Captain Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, enjoys the high regard of Russian President Vladimir Putin, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and Chinese President Xi Jinping, and that these nations would respond to any assassination attempt on him, is a complex claim that warrants careful examination. It reflects the shifting geopolitical landscape in Africa, particularly in the Sahel region, where external actors are increasingly vying for influence. Click on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell to stay updated on our latest news. Firstly, it is crucial to understand the context of Burkina Faso's political situation. Captain Traore rose to power through a military coup in September 2022, following another coup earlier in the year. This political instability is rooted in the nation's struggle with jihadist insurgency, which has destabilized the Sahel region for years. Traore's rise was framed as a necessary step to address the security crisis, and he has since adopted a rhetoric of Pan-Africanism and sovereignty, critical of Western influence, particularly that of France, the former colonial power. The alleged support from Russia, China, and North Korea must be viewed through this lens. These nations have been actively seeking to expand their influence in Africa, often filling perceived vacuums left by Western powers. Russia's presence in Africa has grown significantly in recent years, often through security partnerships and the deployment of private military contractors like the Wagner Group, now rebranded under a new structure. In Burkina Faso, there have been increasing reports of Russian flags at pro-Traore demonstrations, and speculation about potential military cooperation. Russia's interest in the Sahel region is multifaceted. It includes securing access to natural resources, establishing strategic footholds, and projecting its global power in opposition to Western interests. Putin's purported promise of support to Burkina Faso must be interpreted within this framework. Russia's support could manifest in various forms, including military aid, training, logistical support, and diplomatic backing. This support could be crucial for Traore's regime in its fight against jihadist groups, but it also raises concerns about the potential for further destabilization and human rights abuses. China's role. China's engagement in Africa is primarily driven by economic interests. It is a major investor in infrastructure projects and a key trading partner for many African nations. China's approach is often characterized by its no-strings-attached policy, which contrasts with the conditional aid offered by Western countries. While China's involvement in Burkina Faso is likely to be primarily economic, its strategic interests cannot be ignored. China seeks to secure access to resources and markets, and it views Africa as a crucial part of its Belt and Road Initiative. The assertion that China would respond to an assassination attempt on Traore suggests a level of political and strategic investment that goes beyond mere economic ties. Such a response could indicate a desire to protect its investments and maintain stability in a region of strategic importance. North Korea's influence. North Korea's involvement in Africa is less prominent than that of Russia or China, but it is not insignificant. North Korea has a history of providing military assistance and training to African nations, often in exchange for political support. While its economic influence is limited, its willingness to engage with regimes that are isolated by the West makes it a potential partner for countries like Burkina Faso. The notion that North Korea would respond to an assassination attempt on Traore is intriguing. It suggests a level of political solidarity and strategic alignment that is not immediately apparent. North Korea's support could be symbolic, but it also indicates a willingness to project its influence beyond its immediate region. Implications and concerns. The alleged support from these nations raises several implications and concerns. Geopolitical competition. The increasing involvement of Russia, China, and North Korea in Burkina Faso reflects the growing geopolitical competition in Africa. This competition could lead to further instability and conflict as external powers vie for influence, sovereignty and autonomy. While Traore's rhetoric emphasizes sovereignty, the reliance on external support could compromise Burkina Faso's autonomy. The potential for these nations to exert undue influence on Burkina Faso's policies is a significant concern. Human rights and governance. The involvement of these nations, particularly Russia, raises concerns about human rights and governance. Their support could embolden authoritarian tendencies and undermine efforts to promote democracy and the rule of law. Regional security. The influx of external actors and military support could exacerbate the security situation in the Sahel region. the proliferation of weapons, and the involvement of private military contractors could fuel further conflict and instability. Information reliability. It is very important to consider the reliability of the source of the information. Burkina 24, like any news outlet, can have biases and potential errors. Before accepting such information as fact, it is necessary to check other sources. The assertion that Captain Ibrahim Traore enjoys the high regard of Putin, Kim Jong-un, and Xi Jinping, and that these nations would respond to an assassination attempt, highlights the complex geopolitical dynamics at play in Burkina Faso. While the extent of their support remains to be seen, their involvement underscores the shifting balance of power in Africa. It is crucial to monitor these developments closely and to consider the potential implications for regional stability, human rights, and governance.